Once again, you are all sitting down with greatness. We have the voice actress of Anby. We have the voice actress of Topaz. We have the friend of the House of Hounds, Sam Slade. How are you doing today?
Oh, I am so good. And if you can hear my dog Rico in the background, he's having a great day too.
Well, listen, it's the House of Hounds. He knows where we are. It is okay.
Oh, I love it.
Well, listen, I'm so happy, to, be talking with you again, to have you back here on the show. Thank you again for this opportunity.
Thanks for having me. I mean, it's been almost a year since the last time we sat down and talked, so it's great to be back.
Yes, ma'am. You amongst, other, very generous VAs have been responsible for help growing this channel. So thank you very, very much. People have loved your, the first episode, we spoke about you and your role as Topaz and just, your journey as a VA. So thank you again.
Hey, that's all you do. Thanks for having us.
Well, now we're gonna talk some more about you and things that's been going on with you, your journey, what's going on. It was awesome meeting you at Anime NYC. That was definitely a highlight.
Oh, that was so much fun. I was so happy I got to see you. I was there for like a blip of the weekend too. Just popped in for a panel and then just ran around Artist Alley and then popped out.
Are you going again this year? I'm going. I'm so excited. Got my tickets. They extended it an extra day.
I have a kind of conflict this year that I'll be able to give more details on eventually, but unfortunately, I will not be at NYC this year.
Okay, no worries. But you know what? Let's talk a little bit about your con experience and different things. I've seen you take pictures and share posts from different cosplayers dressed up as Anby and Topaz. How does that feel?
Oh, I love it. It's surreal, and as an actor who's newer to this side of the industry, being able to interact with fans personally and find see cosplayers and stuff. As a fan of the games that my characters are in, also it's the coolest thing. And I have this distinct memory of talking to my husband in 2023, mid 2023, around Anime Expo time. It was right before Topaz. It was before Anby. I had already recorded, or at least started recording for both of them. And I looked at him and I was like, Jamie, in the next 2 years, things are going to be looking really weird. Good weird, different weird. But I don't know what to expect, but I'm really excited for it. And this is going to be a really fun journey. And I honestly, I knew it was coming eventually, and just by the nature of how quickly these games picked up in popularity, I was like, there's so many characters, it may happen, it may not happen, but still seeing it, even though seeing it potentially on the horizon, still seeing it come through is just like a whiplash, oh shit, that's my character. That is so fun. And then I'll flag them down, hey, I got a picture, and they're like, okay. But I don't want to be oh, by the way, I'm the voice actor, because then what do you say after that, right? Haha, I'm going to compliment you. Now I want you to compliment me. Nah, dude, I'm just going to take my picture and I'm going to run, and then sometimes I have a friend with me who'll be like, do you know who that is? And the cosplayer's like, should I? And they're like, oh, that's their VA. And one person literally was like, okay, thinking my friend was, just messing with them. And then later I saw their post on Reddit, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I didn't know it was actually you. And I was like, this is so funny. But long story short, it's so fun. It never gets old. I love it. I love interacting with fans. I love cosplayers. They all look amazing. I cosplayed full cosplay once a couple of years ago before I started, acting in a lot of the games that I'm in now. And I don't know, two things. One, how do y'all do it? Two, the wig. Oh my God, my head hurts so bad by the end of the day. The way you guys do this, sometimes several cosplays throughout the whole weekend, mad respect. Can't be me. Mad respect.
Yeah, my friend, shout out to my homie Ellie G. She had 3 different cosplays during the weekend. I was
man, I just want to wear sweats by the end of the day, or even I wake up and I go, can I just show up in this? I don't want to dress in any sort of way. And then people just wake up at the ass crack of dawn, like, beat their face with their makeup and put on a wig and just look amazing through the entire day. And I'm like, that is magic. You guys are amazing.
Well, it's awesome. I always love hearing, the other side of the fandom, because I'd like to think that you guys are, fans of the characters as well. So I love seeing that interaction where you're like, hey, you did a really good job with that character. Let's take a picture. Now, it is funny to know that there are people who've taken a picture with you and they did not realize who they've taken a picture with.
I just, when I go to conventions as an attendee, because I have been for a couple years before I started doing voiceover as well, I'm not there for work. I'm there for fun. I mean, do I work in the industry? Yes, but I'm here for fun. I'm not going to take away from the actors who are here as guests. It's not my place to be like, hey, I wasn't invited as a guest. By the way, I'm voicing the character whose cosplay you're wearing. I'm not.
Yeah.
I don't really want to do that, because then if they don't know who I am, or they don't actually really know much about the character, but they like the design, they'll be like, okay. Or like, worst case scenario, I play Japanese, Chinese, Korean, that it's like, oh, okay, you look great, bye. You know what I mean?
Well, let's approach things a little bit differently. With, the release of Anby's, recent story, shout out to Ambi, my main.
Girl, she needs a hug.
A lot has happened there. Like, how did it feel to, tackle a story that's a little bit, darker than a typical like, Hoyoverse story? Like, it got deep. We don't have to go into like spoiler territory, but I was like, oh, we're going there.
Yeah, I got the script, and of course, like many actors do, we see the script for the first time when we show up for the job. We show up in session, we get the script, and we go, oh, okay, this is what we're doing today, right? We don't get to review it beforehand, because a lot of times it's like, proprietary information, or they're still being worked on, or whatever the reason. But anyway, I get it, and I'm looking through it, and I'm like, what? Like, huh? And, like, they share their screen, so I'm getting the script from their screen share point of view. So they're scrolling through, and I'm reading the surrounding lines, and I'm like, what the hell is this? What? And the director's like, ooh, whoa. Because, they have an overall, like, overarching view of what's happening in the story. They may have gone over it once or twice, but, and they're working with the specific character who's in that particular scene.
Yeah.
And, like, they see it a little more in depth than if they were just kind of in the surrounding line. You know what I mean? So they're looking at it and they're like, ooh, whoa, that's heavy. So we're all just kind of looking at it together like, oh, we're going there. Okay, understood. Like when we were recording Anby's, I can't remember if it was a trailer or the PV, like, the one I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God. Oh, whoa, twice? No, There's no warning or anything either? Holy shit, guys. Whoa! Like, Hoyo is like the master of sandwiching the super silly character, super wholesome backstory, darkness. And then they're back to eating a burger, really cute, you know what I mean? And I'm just like, so now we're venturing into this whole new storytelling, like, opportunity, this whole new universe. This opens a whole can of worms, potentially, of, what content we might see in the future, since, we're going there now.
Yeah.
And going there from the content I've already recorded, definitely different, way challenging, considering, Anby as a whole, asking lots of questions, like, how much am I allowed to, emote? Like, how emotional does Anby get? Because, yeah, I can make those calls myself as the actor, but then it's also, we have, the client in the room with us. We have the director. Sometimes we have a writer. I just want to be sure that I'm coloring within the lines they're giving me. So if it's like, yes, Anby is getting emotional, but what does emotional look like for Anby? Or like, Anby's encountering this really serious dark moment, or she's encountering a dark past that, like, that she just doesn't really want anything to do with at all. Like, she's like, I don't want anything to do with this. Now she's here again. How does she react to that? So there was a lot of exploring what this character does in these scenarios, and being allowed to, like, make those decisions, as opposed to, in the years prior I've been recording for this character where everything is like flatline.
Yeah.
And then sometimes she has her moments here and there, like mostly for comedic effect, but now it's like, okay, we're letting her tap into those emotions now because the material is just so like left field. Oh my God. That was a super fun challenge and really exciting to see in the script too.
I was really, and I'm going to give you, your flowers here, but how can I describe it? It was amazing how you were able to keep Anby quote unquote flat, right? Her emotions are a little bit dimmed. That's the nature of her character. So it's like you were painting within the lines, but the lines were very bold. You know what I mean? Like the lines of the picture were very bold, where it was like, I feel this emotion from her, but I'm not sure if she's allowed to fully express this emotion. So it kind of turns it in on you. It's like, how do you truly feel about this moment? And that really made me sit and think. Like, I was live on stream. I was like, oh, my poor homie. I was like, hold on. This is not just about burgers anymore. And I think that was incredible.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, that was hard as shit. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, I'll read a line and I go, was that too much? Is that too much emotion for Anby? And they're like, either like, you dial it down, or like, no, that was it. Because I knew if it was anything below a certain threshold, it was gonna be a green light. But it was also like, realistically, if there's an individual who sits in this like two-dimensional emotional world, when they encounter quite literally the third dimension of this is personal trauma, how do they take this? And also, we don't know why Anby is the way she is. I mean, clearly we understand that she was to a degree that same two-dimensional Anby, in her previous life, essentially.
Yeah.
But we don't know if the events of what happened contributed to further pushing her down into, where her emotions lie today since we've met her, or what is it, right? So there's like the before cutting hairs Anby and the after cutting hairs Anby, and then there's the after cutting hairs after Belle and Wise meet Anby, right? So I'm just sitting here and I'm trying to paint these like 3 points of time for this character and what she has experienced and what she allows herself to feel. Like, we don't know if she's bearing these feelings, because I mean, all of this stuff at this point is just kind of theoretical, just, for me, it's information they don't provide, but as an actor, it's information that helps me immensely in making acting decisions, because I don't want to make a decision that's really out of character. So there are a couple lines even that even made it into the final game where I'm like, that may have been a little too much for Anby. I don't know. Personally, from where I've been sitting, like sitting in the stands watching her, like on the stage, like I'm like, I think that might be a little out of character. But, for some people, they might be like, that was exactly what I would have expected for her. But as the actor, sitting in Anby's shoes, I don't know. So there's just a whole lot of like, I feel like I took a lot of risks. I hope they paid off. But it was just, oh man, it was so fun to explore and ask these questions with the people who are, working with, the game on the creative side, and being able to bounce these back and forth and, just be able to bring this character to life in a new dimension that we didn't even anticipate we were going to go in that direction for. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I absolutely loved it. And the thing that's so cool about Zenless is the characters, they feel a part of like your everyday life, right? Like, you go into the game, you see people walking down 6th Street, you check in with them, and then, you're finding out these characters have so many multiple stories and you're involving with them. And I just thought that was incredible. Like, it really opened my eyes. Now I just want to buy her food and I just want her to be happy. and seeing how everyone else played off, and shout out to everyone, seeing how everyone else played off of her character and seeing how much she means to everyone, I was like, this is incredible. And I was like, I need more of this from ZZZ. So thank you so much for that.
Hey, that's the writers, man. I feel like every single time I go into a session, I'm like, my gosh, please, Hoyo Rep, give like all of my love to the writers. They are incredible. And I think my favorite part about this game and the characters is that, we've all played those games where you're the protagonist, you're the world saver, you're the whatever it is, and the characters' lives don't start until they meet you.
Yeah.
But in Zenless Zone Zero, you just happen to exist, and all of these characters already have lives, and you meet them, and you learn more about them. It's not like, I meet Anby, and now this is the beginning of Anby's story. And you're like, nah, dude. Like, Anby's been doing Anby for... We don't even know how long, because we don't know how old she is either. Like, we don't know how long ago this past took place, you know? So, or at least everything leading up to when she met Nicole. So... That's just one thing that I absolutely adore, is that, like, yeah, every character in a video game has a past, but, like, these are, like it feels like living, like a living past, something that can come up any day now, and, you know, like track them down, and we learn more about Anby or Billy or Nicole that we didn't already know before, because they're living their lives at the same time we're living ours as the player. And I absolutely love how they did that.
Yes, ma'am. Well, you know, let's come up for air. We went deep, and I love those kind of conversations. But let me ask, you know, you play characters that have white hair. Is that a choice?
No. It just happened. It's so funny at this point. Half the time, we don't even see character designs when we audition for them. So it's gotten to the point where I get a character, and I like book an audition, and I get the character art, and I go, God damn it, another one! Like,
they have to be ribbing you.
So it's so funny. And then I get tagged on social. It's like, Sam Slade's next white or silvered haired character, and I'm just like, there's another one. I've got like 8 now.
I love it. I love it. Now, let's this is something I've kind of brought into a little chaotic section that I've brought into, you know, the you know, interview here. Let's go over a couple of things. You know, Marvel or DC?
Marvel.
You said that so quickly.
Oh yeah. Sorry, Marvel.
Now, in terms of acting, good guy, bad guy?
Okay. This might sound really corny, but good guy versus bad guy is all terms of perspective. And most of the time as the viewer, we're learning about other people's motives from the perspective of the good guy. So I don't think, I mean, there's inherently like shitty people with bad intentions that are, you know, bad intentions being like all like self-benefiting or for an objectively bad cause or whatever it might be. But like every villain to themselves, they like them and their like motives, they are correct. They are the good guys. So like, unless they're objectively like, I'm going to destroy the entire world for the sake of destroying the entire world. Like, you know, we don't know why villains are the way they are. So in terms of acting goes, I think, I mean, like villains objectively have the tougher time. Like those actors have to portray so many feelings because the worst villain is the type of villain who's evil for no reason. You know, that's like the same thing as like a horror movie. Movies that are scary for no reason. Or like a ghost who is a ghost because they're a ghost. Like, why are they a ghost? Like, why are they dead? What happened? Why are they doing the bad thing to the protagonist, right? Like, I need purpose. I need reason. And I think, you know, writing has a lot to do with that. But those actors who are portraying those characters have to have all of that backstory that the viewer might not know of, that might even never be known to the viewer unless they listen to an interview or like, you know, read an interview or an article about the character or whatever.
Yeah.
They have to put all of those decisions into what they do for the character to make everything that the villain does make sense if you sit down and put yourself in the position of the villain. So I think those guys definitely have like a little more, I don't want to say they have more nuance than the good guys do, but I just think that that's a heavier weight to bear in my opinion.
Oh no, so it's like, I love a villain where I'm just like, ooh, I see how you got there.
Yeah.
Your approach is flawed, but I understand. Like Thanos, I get why you're doing this. It's messed up, bro. But I see how we ended up there. So yeah, I love a villain that you can agree with. But you know, ultimately there has to be something where you're like, okay, they have to be stopped because ultimately that's wrong. Now. Okay, here's another one. This one's for the people. Where's the best burger?
Ooh. So depending on where you live in the United States, you're either going to recognize it as Carl's Jr. or Hardee's. My favorite burger of all time, hands down. They've got a quarter pounder, not a Whopper. Hold on, that's Burger King. They have a quarter pounder charbroiled burger. amazing. I grew up like 2 minutes from a Hardee's, and just like, I grew up 2 minutes from a Hardee's, but I grew up like 20 steps from McDonald's. You bet your ass, once I got a car and started driving, I would go to Hardee's every single time. The best burger. So good. Honestly, I don't think I have one nearby me, and I mourn it truly. So that is my answer. Hardee's all the way.
Have you had Five Guys?
Of course.
Over Five Guys?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Five Guys is also just expensive.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
So like when I have an expensive burger, I'm like, oh damn, this burger is about to slap. But if the burger tastes like a fast food burger and it's a $20 burger, I'm gonna be confused, you know? Like I think Five Guys, you go in for the experience and the reputation of, oh, this is Five Guys, I can get whatever I want, or, you know, this is going to be a great burger, and it's, you know, whatever it is. And don't get me wrong, it's a great burger. When I was recording a lot of Anby's stuff, like early on, when she had that one, was it trailer or PV, where she's like, it starts by her eating a burger and she's talking about her teammates. After I recorded that, I took my ass to Five Guys. So I was like, I really need a burger, dude. I got out of the booth. I like took like a body shower because my booth is really warm, and it was like starting to get warm outside when I was recording. I go to my husband and I go, we're going to Five Guys. And he was like, what do you mean? And I was like, I just spent like an hour recording burger shit. We're going to Five Guys. I need a burger right now. So yes, Five Guys is good. Hardee's / Carl's Jr.'s is better.
That's fair. I've never had Hardee's, and I'm going to try it. I'm going to make it happen.
You need to. Oh, get it and then text me your thoughts afterwards.
Yes, ma'am. Now this one, you know, cracks me up every time. It's less the either or pick one, but okay. The feet pictures on Twitter or X.
No freebie. No freebie. Sorry. Even then, like I do not sell feet pictures either. So listen, people get their bag on it. Okay, I have no reason to interrupt their business. It's an entire market, okay? If I start giving my shit out for free, it's gonna lower the overall, like, median cost of the goods. I'm not here to mess with their market of work, okay?
I have to ask, because I think, with your permission, if I edit one of the pictures you have on X, like, and put it over the video. You're more than
welcome to.
Because
there are several.
Because I'll just be scrolling, and I have to challenge if my eyes are already cooked. It's why I have tinted glasses like this. But, like, I'll be scrolling through, and, like, my eyes will go, are those, like, those are not real shoes. And it cracks, me up every time.
I gotta get the folder out. I literally have a folder on my phone. I edit most of the pictures on my phone. It's quick, it's easy. I have Photoshop. Yes. Can I use it? Yes. Do I use it? No. I literally have a folder on my phone called Can't Trust Hose, where it's just pictures of shoes that I can edit into. Hold on, the exposure is not having it. Anyway.
That is hilarious.
I can just edit in these shoes pictures depending on the pose, depending on, like, hold on, those are white shoes. Clearly you can't see them. Anyway, depending on how I'm standing, the direction my feet are, I have shoe pictures going like this, and like this, and like this, and like this. So they don't need to see my feet.
Because it gets me every time. Because, like, because I'm just like, I'm sorry, it cracks me up every time. And I was like, I would have regrets if I didn't bring it up.
It started originally as just like, I would just scribble it or put like a little black box and say no free feet, just as a joke at first. But I also know realistically that people seek out that content. I don't want to be a source of that content. So they can go somewhere else. That's not me, please. So that's when I was like, you know what? Let's make it a little less obvious in a black box or a scribble. And so I just started grabbing shoe pics. And everyone loves a classic white sneaker. So
that and it became like an ongoing thing. But thank you so much. That gave me great joy.
Well, I'm glad.
Now, you know, before, you know, we get out of here, let's talk about you as a creator. I say all the time, I am, in the best possible way, positively jealous of you. I love the connection you have with your community. I love how you go through your content. It's you. You're you all the time. I'd like to say I'm me all the time, but DreddHound is a little bit of a production. There's a little bit of like professional wrestler ego in there, and just a bit of a salesman. Like you, the Sam we're talking to now is the Sam we get on stream. Could you tell us, a little bit, about your streaming, your shows? How does that go?
I love it, man. I didn't think I would. I started literally just playing games with friends on stream who also stream. And then people started asking, when are you going to stream? When are you going to stream? And I was like, I'm not interested in it. Like I feel like I'm just going to ramble and it's going to be weird for me and I'm not going to have a good time. And then, people started streaming more and more, and it became like pretty common for actors to also stream. And I was like, I don't really have a reason to, so I don't really want to contribute to the growing number of actors who feel like they're obligated to stream because they're actors also. And then February of 2024 came around, and I was like, damn, I am so behind on Star Rail story. Like, I haven't played in a minute. I was a little burnt out, so I hadn't played in a while.
Yeah.
And I was like talking about it on Twitter. And someone was like, oh, you should just stream it. And I was like, nah, I'm good. And I was talking to a friend, and they were like, well, I mean, if you stream it, then if people are watching you, then you're obligated to keep playing it. I was like, I hate how much sense that made. So I was like, fuck it, we'll try it. If it works out, it works out. If it doesn't, then whatever. Then I'll just, be a 1 or 2-fer, and then we'll call it a day, and I'll finish 2.0. And then I just didn't stop. I loved it so much, and I love people. I love interacting with people. I spent 12 years working in the hospitality industry because I adore people, and I love people so much that after COVID, it gave a lot of people opportunities to show their true colors and say the quiet parts out loud that they shouldn't be saying. And being on the receiving end of that, I was like, my heart is no longer in the industry, and I don't want to be a contributing member of I'm here for a paycheck in an industry that needs a heart. So that's when I decided I don't want to work in hospitality anymore because my heart's no longer in it. But at the end of the day, I still have the heart of someone who's worked in the industry for a really long time, and I really do still love it. And sometimes I go out to dinner and I look at my husband and I go, damn, what if I just started serving again? And he was like, don't do that. You don't need a 6th job, Sam. Please don't do that. And I'm like, oh, but I miss it. I miss the interaction. So streaming gives me, that outlet to just like interact with people and just kind of, like be myself. And I mean, like, it's something I've been working on for years that clearly hasn't been working. It's I have a sailor's mouth and I can be a little crude, probably more than I should. It's something I started in college. I just started letting loose, and no one ever called me on it, and it just kind of got worse. So I make it very clear that I don't want to say my streams are not family friendly, but I do curse a lot. So I apologize in advance, but you know what you're getting yourselves into. I just love, talking to people, and I talk to myself when I play video games anyway, and I'm like, well, this is a great recipe. I get to talk to myself, talk out loud, and chat talks to me, and then I get to experience, especially the games that I'm in, and I get to share these stories with them. And I mentioned this so many times throughout my streams and in passing, but like when actors are playing games that they're in, they're experiencing it almost at the exact same time as the actual players do, because we only see the scripts that we're in.
Okay.
People are like, what do you mean you're reacting to this? You're in this. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm only in like this much of it. You really think they're going to spend the entire, when we get paid per hour in our sessions, do you think they're going to spend all that time going over the entire script with us, paying us to read something that we're not part of? Hell no, dude, because then they have to pay the engineer and the director and the dialogue editor and literally everyone else for me to learn something that's not relevant to what we're doing right now. Not going to happen. So I'm experiencing so much of this at the same time as them, and I love doing it. And I know a lot of people really enjoy seeing actors who also play games and play games that they're in, see these products come together for the first time, except it happens like every 6 weeks in my case, depending on the game that I'm playing. So it's just like this exciting, like it's like watching a movie that you filmed and you're like, yes, I can't wait to see it, because you're only aware of the parts that you're in. So it just, streaming has just become this cycle of, I'm really excited, let me show my excitement to you guys and let me share it with you, and then me like hanging out with my friends who are also actors that people also like watching those interactions. And I'm like, you know what? Like, we're going to hang out anyway. People like seeing us hang out. And I just love being able to, show how like human and like down to earth actors are, because a lot of us were really just like the fans in a way. I mean, obviously, like I understand there is a different dynamic there, and I'm not going to pretend there's not.
Yeah.
But there's also just the like, hey, we're just guys, and we do a lot of the same stuff everyone else does, and like we love doing it. And a lot of us are friends, and we spend a lot of time together, off stream, on stream, like in sessions or adjacent to sessions because we don't record together. But like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I love sharing those interactions with people as well. So it's so much fun. I love it. I like to cross post, like, you know, particularly like standout moments on other platforms also, because I know not everyone is on Twitch. And when I'm like, damn, that was really funny. Like, I want more people to see this because this was really funny. And I'm probably going to watch this clip myself like 20 times. And I'm going to make it everyone else's problem across every platform that I'm on because this was really funny. So if I post the same clip on like every platform, that's why, because I was genuinely having a moment with it. And I was like, this is great. This is really funny. I enjoy this. And I'm going to make it everyone else's problem.
I'm so bad at doing that. I different moments will happen on stream, and I'm like, I have to go back and clip that. Like, I have to get in the mental space to do that. But like what I truly enjoy about this community and what you guys have brought to the community is, you know, there is that, you know, a bit of a separation. You know, you guys are acting, you know, within the medium, but we're all enjoying the same thing together, and it's really like. You've seen, to a degree, you know, your favorite movie, right? And you want to say, hey, come watch the scene with me. It's awesome. And you get to sit down and pull us into that experience. So thank you for that. That is phenomenal. So, you know, with you streaming and you guys sharing that, it really kind of, I guess, humanizes the whole process, if that makes sense. But,
yeah.
You know, we asked you a couple of things, you know, in terms of, you know, voice acting. Let's ask you in terms of streaming. What are 3 things you say would make a great streamer?
Ooh, I will admit, I didn't really watch a whole lot of streamers, and I have a lot of friends who are streamers. I'm sorry, I love y'all. I don't watch you guys. My attention span is this big, bro. Like, there is an audience meant for streaming, and I stream for that audience, and other people streams for that audience. I am not in that audience. So, sorry, I have a hiccup in my throat.
You're fine.
Anyway, in my opinion, from what I have noticed has worked for me, and not even like I don't stream for the views or for the money. Yeah, does it help pay my student loans? Absolutely. I'm so grateful, but I don't do it for that purpose. I do it because I love doing it. And that's one thing that shows that I've heard people talk about, and people have come up to me at conventions and mention it, and they're like, you know, I genuinely enjoy how you like what you're doing. And, you know, there's a difference between someone who streams because they love doing it and someone who streams because it's another form of income and now they have to do it.
Yeah.
Or they feel like they have to do it and they don't, you know, like there is a learning curve, but, you know, I'm not here to dog on anyone for whatever they're doing. Get your bag, please. But that's just what people have told me. And I go like, oh, light bulb clicks. Oh, you're right. I can see where there's a difference there. You know, your heart is in it. If it's not there, the viewers can tell, and it may or may not reflect in your views. There's just like this layer, I feel like, of honesty with your audience while you're streaming. Is streaming a production? Absolutely, it's a production. But I also feel like the streamers who are very laid back and down to earth are the ones that generally people really kind of zone in on, because it's like, oh my God, they're just like me, right? And that tends to happen with a lot of like actors too, like on-screen actors. People pay attention to the people who feel like they're just another guy and not just like a performer, right? Is a portion of streaming performing? I'm not gonna lie, like, yeah, would I act like how I act in stream sometimes on the streets in real life? Absolutely not. I think people would probably think I'm crazy, but it's also a place where I can like unwind and let loose and be able to like be silly in spaces that I wouldn't be able to do in public, right? And the third option, I don't really have a third one. I just think that being like genuine and doing something because you want to do it, not because you feel obligated to do it, is going to contribute to a lot of what other people may perceive as success, right? Like, people don't wake up one morning and say, I'm going to be a streamer because I'm going to make a lot of money, because that just doesn't happen. And I know, like, you understand, every content creator understands. And honestly, like, content creation is so much more than just streaming. I don't even consider myself a content creator because I don't really go that far. I'm here, I hang out, I don't want to say I put on a show because I'm just chilling. And if people think that's a show, it is what it is, right? I show up, I do the thing, I cross post so other people can see it because not everyone's on Twitch, and then I call it a day. And I really enjoy doing it. I genuinely don't consider myself a content creator in that way because I have friends with so many of them and I see how much work and effort they put into it. And I'm like, nah, bro, I don't do that. I cannot take that title. I cannot share that title because they do so much more incredible work. I see friends do interviews at conventions. I see friends, commission entire, like arts and animations and then whatever, the whole 9 yards to put on like a beautiful like production as a content creator, even outside of stream. And I'm just like, I have so much respect for all of that commitment because that is not me, bro. I'm here for a good time.
Listen, I'm trying to get there. When I first started streaming, it was really just me using TVs as like my gaming screen or monitor, and there was like random shelves and a fireplace back there. The old hounds probably remember that. Now I'm trying to put a little bit more my interests and personalities back there.
It looks great. I have a booth and plushies. They're not even here for background. They just happen to be there. They're here because there's a huge gap between my desk and the booth, and my shit keeps falling. So I was like, I need to put a big plushie there so it doesn't fall.
Oh, well, listen, we love it. We love it. Also, side note, you notice the homie is there.
She looks so good. I was just looking at that. I was like, damn, I look sick. I love it.
I found that online. I was like, yes, it has to go up there.
Beautiful.
But once again, thank you so much. I very much consider you a homie. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your generosity, what you've done for me. I look forward to seeing, the great things that you're going to do moving forward in the future, of course. And, where can we find you online? Where can the people keep up with Sam Slade?
Yeah, I'm still on the Bird app. I think I might be there until the ship entirely sinks. I do not condone the actions or the words of the person who puts the most amount of money into it, but that's where the people are, unfortunately. And I as we've already covered, I love people. I'm on the Bird app and on Twitch at itssamslade. I'm on Instagram. I'm working on my Instagram presence. I just keep forgetting it exists. I'm still Sam Slade VO on there, and TikTok at itssamslade. I really just cross post clips of streams and stuff. So that's pretty much all that goes on there. So
well, guys, once again, you have sat down with greatness. You have gotten to know royalty. Make sure you guys check out down below where to keep up with Sam Slade. Make sure you guys like this video. Make sure you comment. Let me know what you want to see next. Stay fierce, keep gaming, and welcome to the House of Hounds. We're out.